It only takes 10 minutes to get to the hospital. The roads were surprisingly clear given the zombies at large situation. You pull right up to the main entrance. This place looks pretty crowded. You head in to try and get some help, but no one is interested. All the medical staff are leaning over one body or another. There is a woman at reception, but the line is huge. In the end, you grab a wheelchair that was discarded in a corner and head back to get Ari yourself. It's bad in there, huh? Beth says when she sees you with the chair. You nod. I got in touch with Ari's brother on my helmet radio while you were in there. He and his friends are on their way. I don't normally like his bully tactics, but maybe they can move Ari up. They cue a little. She tells you. You push the chair back in while Beth holds Ari's hand, making reassuring comments to her. The line didn't get any shorter while you were gone. So you sit Ari in the waiting area and head up to reception. You are there for nearly an hour. When you get to the front of the line, the woman behind it hands you a form and a pen. There's a woman bleeding to death. You tell her. She doesn't have another hour to wait for me to bring this back. The receptionist looks annoyed. Everyone is bleeding to death today. When you have filled it in, just bring it and drop it on my desk. As soon as the doctors are done dealing with the other people in just as bad shape, they will get to your friend. And with that, your audience is over. This isn't right. Do you want to argue or just go fill in the form? Argue or accept it? Well, people got here before we did, but I don't know, maybe arguing will do something. I don't know. So we'll argue. I'm not really an argumentative person, but we'll just see what happens. No, you say. That girl over there is barely alive. I can't just sit there and fill in a form while she bleeds to death. The receptionist doesn't look impressed. Lots of people are dying. We are saving who we can. If you don't like it, then take your business to a different hospital. She tells you, fixing you with a cold stare. This isn't getting you anywhere. You take the form back to Beth. She looks like she is beginning to get mad and a little scared. She yanks her helmet radio from where she had stuffed it in her pocket and starts talking to Ari's brother again. You guess he will be coming soon. Looking around the room, you see an awful lot of bitten people. It occurs to you that it is only a matter of time until this place is swarming with zombies. There's a guy in the corner that looks pretty much dead already. You wonder if you were looking at patient zero right there. You start to look around for a weapon. You wish you hadn't left your stuff in your car. You hear the roar of engines in the distance. There are lots of them, and they sound like big bikes, so you take a leaping guess Ari's brother is almost here. Beth perks up. That's them, she tells you. You might want to head out if you are looking to avoid trouble. Ben always brings trouble with him. You feel bad just leaving them like this, especially at this place is likely to be swarming with the undead soon. You hear boots on concrete and turn to see 8 huge guys strolling into the hospital. They look like trouble. They very likely are. The leader spots Beth and comes over. How is she, Beth? He asks, completely ignoring you. Beth looks troubled. She's not good, Ben. She lost a lot of blood, and at this rate she would die of old age before she gets to see a doctor. Ben nods and turns and heads to the reception desk. Thanks for everything you did, Valkyrie, Beth tells you, but go now. Things are about to get illegal. Ben picks up the receptionist by the neck. She screams. You nod to Beth. Good luck, you tell her. I hope Ari gets through this okay. You turn and head for the entrance. This is more than you can deal with right now. You sidestep the many bikes which are parked directly in front of the door and slide behind the wheel of your car. Soon you are back on the road and heading for supplies. This day is going about as badly as you can imagine any day going ever. Well, okay, you are not dead. Considering what has happened since you woke up, that's no small achievement. You cruise into the car park and are pleasantly surprised to find it free of the undead. Are they undead? Well, they certainly seemed lively for the very dead. On the other hand, they aren't the same as the zombies that TV had conditioned you to accept either. What's with the fangs and green eye glow? You need answers, or do you? Maybe you just need a really big hole to hide in until everything goes away. For now, though, What you need is to get some supplies and a real plan. Maybe a cheeseburger before this place becomes a Night of the Living Dead movie. And the people behind the fast food counter are even less helpful than you are used to. So, glorious leader, where's to first? Supermarket, food is always a good bet. Hardware store, maybe you can find a chainsaw. McDaniel's, can't stop thinking about the cheeseburger. Well, I'm vegetarian, so I'm not going for a cheeseburger, especially not a McDaniel's. Maybe if it was like a veggie burger at like Wendy's or Burger Queen or something, but not McDaniel's. That place is fucking nasty. So we're just gonna go to the supermarket and get some food because I don't know about the hardware store. We'll just go to the supermarket. You cautiously make your way to the entrance and peer inside. Everything looks normal, maybe a little quiet, but as long as nobody is eating anybody else's face, that's really the best you can hope for. You head in and start grabbing food and bottled water. The supplies of both are already heavily depleted. You guess you aren't the only one that had this plan. Also, a nice new sharp knife and some cigarettes. Worst comes to worst, you can trade them for favors when things get worse. You finish paying and amble your way back to the car. Perhaps you were wrong about it being a zombie. There doesn't seem to be any sign of them here. Maybe you should just call the police and see if somebody will come and sort it out. You hear a scream from behind you. A blonde girl is running your way with another of those monsters on her tail. She has about 10 seconds before there is no point in trying to help. Risk it. Run in and try to tackle the zombie. Shout to the girl to run to your car or get in your car and drive away. We'll just tell her to run to the car. Yeah. You shout to the girl to run to your car. Jumping in yourself, you open the passenger door and start the engine. The very second she touches the seat, you slam on the accelerator. The zombie almost makes it, but ends up hitting the rear door and bouncing off. You don't slow down until after you are well away. Thanks, she says. No problem, you say. Sarah, she says. Valkyrie, you say. So, Sarah asks, where are we headed? You turn on the radio, maybe some news will help you make up your mind. Millions are fleeing all the major cities. The dead have risen and are attacking the living. If you are hearing this, then you should report to one of the military safe zones that are being set up at the edge of each city. National leaders are appealing to our new extraterrestrial friends for help, as so far visitors claim to be as baffled by this bizarre occurrence as we are. Please stay on this station. We will update you as often as we can. That is a lot to take in at once, but you need to make a choice. Do you need to know or do you need to live? Into the city to find some answers, into the woods to find some safety. Oh, there's probably all the zombies in the city. I don't know how the woods are. I mean, maybe it started in the woods, so. Oh. We'll go into the woods to find some safety. No, we'll go into the city to find some answers. Game saved. If your adventures prove too much and you become one of the living impaired, you can always start from here. Unless you close the browser, then you are on your own. Again, okay. As you reach the edge of the village, you notice two circular towers, visible amongst the evergreen trees that grow out by the coast. You remember talking to a guy called Tom at the bar a few weeks back. He told you he was fixing up the old cathedral to turn it into a tourist trap. But now you come to think of it, it would make an amazing place to hide out from the undead. What do you think? Worth taking a look. Head up to the cathedral. Ignore it. There must be a better option. We'll go there. The closer you get to the cathedral, the more impressed you are with its construction. Thick stone walls with high arched windows, topped with a massive sloped dark brown roof. On the front steps, you can just make out two figures deep in discussion. As you draw near, you see Tom as one of the pair, with the other being a shorter woman with jet black hair and a pixie cut. They stop to look at your approaching car you pull up in front. Sarah seems uneasy as you draw nearer to the pair. She puts a hand on your arm. Guns, she says. You look a little closer and see they have both slipped their hands around firearms. You hold up your hands to show you mean no harm as you approach. Hey Tom, it's Valkyrie, you announce. Remember we met a few weeks back at the bar in the village. Tom relaxes a bit when he recognizes you. What can I do for you, Valkyrie? You tell him you remembered about him fixing up this place and you were wondering if he was taking in extra people with the army of zombies walking the earth and all. No, says the woman. Tom pulls her back and they talk for a minute. While Tom talks, the woman appears to be trying to communicate purely in swear words. Finally, they turn back to you. Look, Valkyrie, says Tom, I appreciate your situation, but we don't have the room here. I am about to head out on the boat to get my sister and her friends. If I let you in, we'll be packed like sardines when they get here. Want to argue or just accept it and walk away? We'll accept it. Alright, you say, I can understand your position. You give a little wave and turn to head back to your car. That's it, as Sarah, we get tossed to the zombies and you don't have anything to say about it. The woman suddenly steps forward and puts a gun to Sarah's head. Sarah responds by bringing a knife up to Mindy's neck. Mindy, put it down, orders Tom. Mindy reluctantly starts to lower the gun. You were lucky Tom was here to save you. She tells Sarah, I wasn't the one about to die, Sarah retorts. Mindy gives Sarah a look so black you are afraid for a moment that Sarah will drop dead from it. You should just go, Tom tells you. You can't help but agree. No one is going to be safer if you start killing each other. You take Sarah by the arm and lead her back to the car. It doesn't take long to make it back to the main roads.